Hey guys, did you know that I have a Patreon where you can support me and plus get awesome rewards? Or if you're thinking to yourself, but Julian, I want even more bang for my buck while still supporting you, you can pop over to my Redbubble and check out my awesome store with new designs appearing regularly. But for now, enjoy the video you're about to watch.
Hey guys, it's me, Julian Greystoke. I'm wearing my Commodore 64 shirt. Fun fact, the Commodore 64 was the first gaming computer I didn't own it, my dad owned it, but we owned. So, you know, that's how old I am. Today we are going to talk about a book called Illuminae, which is a sci-fi book that I have been sort of avoiding for a while because I knew that it was sort of created to be visual as well as to be read, and I knew I wasn't going to have time for it because, to be honest, I really don't have a lot of time in my life to just sit down and read a book anymore. I get most of my books through listening to them. So when I found out that the audiobook of Illuminae was really good and people were saying, yes, definitely listen to it, high quality, full cast, sound effects, the whole shebang, I was like, okay, I guess I don't feel so bad about listening to this book anymore because I will get sort of a full experience out of it. Do know going into this that I did listen to it, not read it, but I did think that the audiobook version was very good. Most of the voice acting was pretty good quality, some more than others, some of them were a little bit stiff, but in general it was quite good and I do recommend the audiobook version. But another reason that I waited to pick up Illuminae for so long is because I'm not really much of a sci-fi reader. I was worried going into this as well that the style, because I knew it was going to be in like messages and memos and none of it was going to be in like a narrative that we're used to. I was a little bit worried that that was going to keep me at arm's length the characters, and I really like to be in deep with the characters, and actually I felt like the characters were pretty relatable, done well enough that I could enjoy being with them, even though the style was not necessarily one that I was used to. Unfortunately, the two main characters of this story were the most bland and uninteresting ones. I didn't care about them. I kept falling in love with these side characters, which the book would then subsequently kill. Why? I was not a fan of the two lead characters. Oh, what is this book about? What is this book about? Okay, this book is about two characters who are ex-boyfriend and girlfriend who are living on this mining colony, but it is an illegal mining colony, and when one of their competitors finds out that they are there, these people come after this colony and they basically blast it, they send poison gas, they blast it out to pieces, and these people have to flee, and they get into like three ships, like a science vessel and a battleship and one other, and they're fleeing away from the bad people who are coming after them in this big old warship, and eventually the warship is going to catch up to them. So it's like a ticking clock, it's like ominous danger coming at every moment. It's interpersonal stuff as these people try to figure out like who's in charge, what are we doing, we're all gonna die, how do we prevent that? And so that part, like the premise and all of that, were so enticing, and I was like, oh, damn, the danger is just ramped up to 11, and I love it. However, the characters, we'll talk about that. Something that this book did, and I don't know if it was true of the print version, is it censored the swearing, and I hated that. I hated it. I felt like it was like some sort of mandate from on high, from the publisher or something, that was like, we need to make this book more accessible to teenagers, so we're going to need to censor all of the swearing, and I was not on board for that, because y'all fucking know I love to swear. It's like, cut out swearing completely, or don't censor it. Pick one. I feel like, in fact, that a lot of the elements, the strongest elements in this story, felt to me like they were being hamstrung by needing to try to make it relatable and marketable. Like, every time there was a really strong plot element, it was always brought back to things like love saving the day, or this couple and their love story again. The love story should not have been the focus of this book, where we are running away from a battleship trying not to die. And there was also like a very cliched story going on with the AI in one of the ships, and it was like the premise was ruined by all of this bland stuff that we've seen a million times before, and it almost made me wonder if like the publishers had their hands real deep into this and were like, no, it needs to be more relatable, make it more relatable. I don't know, I have no proof of this, it's just what it felt like when I was reading it. The book does try to keep you on your toes with like mystery after mystery. There's always stuff going on, so it's not a slow book. It never wallows, at least not until near the end. And so it's very readable. It's really a popcorn book. It keeps you on the edge of your seat wanting to know what happens next, even if the main characters and their story is probably the least interesting of the various plots we have going on. The AI, speaking of the AI, is really reminiscent of Hal from 2001: A Space Odyssey. And I think the author even knew that because there are a couple of scenes that really reminded me very strongly of the "I can't do that, Dave," and the "Daisy, Daisy." Which, I mean, they were fine if they were, you know, homages or whatever, but the fact that it was so similar and reminded me so much of Hal, I think actually ultimately was to the book's detriment, and I think that it could have been so much more original with the AI character as well. But, there were zombies! Space zombies! And I was like, I know a lot of people have complained about this and been like, zombies in space, I'm so done. And I was like, zombies in space? I am all over this shit! So like, as soon as I figured out there were gonna be zombies and they're gonna be in this confined space of a ship, and like, how do we keep the zombie virus from spreading and all of this, I was on fucking board. Ship pun intended. Sign me up for the space zombies. In fact, if you have a book to recommend that has space zombies, send it my way, fam. The book keeps killing off characters that I love, though. It needs to stop doing that, because the main characters are so boring. I have again that the AI was very cliche. I love AIs, and I'm so tired of the boring ways that people keep doing them. They always go like one of two ways. Not gonna spoil it, but I do not like the emphasis on the AI coming to be like more human. I didn't like what they did with the AI at all. He was very disappointing, and I really wish that they had done something more original with it. There are some attempts at slang, especially with the characters that are in the military. They use chum to mean like, hey buddy, they're like, hey chum, and femme to mean like a woman, like, hey, how's your femme? Like, how's your girl? You know? But I like slang in books, and I like it when the author puts forth the effort to get slang in something, especially if it's like futuristic. But I really kind of these really got old for me pretty fast. I wrote, a 17-year-old romantic love is what drives the characters to try to save the day, and I am just too old and jaded for that to be my jam. It's true, it's just 17-year-old romantic love just is not something that I can enjoy as a driving force in your exciting sci-fi story anymore. Maybe when I was 17, but maybe not even then. So if that is something that you know cannot be a driving force in a book that you like, you might want to give this one a pass. Again, the AI, I'm gonna keep coming back to the AI occasionally here with the rest of my notes, but the AI is confusing. It understands sarcasm and euphemism sometimes, but not other times. It just does it when it's convenient for a joke or for the plot, for it to not understand, and the AI was poorly done. How many more ways can I say it? And I'm so disappointed because I love a good AI. I guess I just keep saying it because of the disappointment. There is a twist nearish the end that made me cackle with evil glee, because I have a heart of stone, but the twist was reversed, and I took back my cackle of evil glee. I thought this book was going to go there, and then it didn't go there, and I was very upset by that. Try not to spoil what it is, because you might actually enjoy reading this book, but I wrote, there are a lot of female commanders, which is good, though most of them seem to be in charge of being good examples of humanity. Being the compassionate ones, the ones who care about people, while the male commanders get to be cold hardasses. It's not always true, but it is definitely the trend. Like, there are definitely female characters who can be cold hardasses, but the female commanders are like the best pure examples of humanity, and the male commanders are the evil ones, the bad guys. And I didn't really like that. I liked a lot of the female commanders that we got. I really did. Some of my favorite characters were those characters, but I did wish that we got more nuance from them. And finally, the very ending of this book pissed me off so friggin' much. Like, the very end. The final twist or whatever. Pissed me off. It made me feel like, it made me wonder if this was a mandate from the publishers, because it did. It reversed that twist I mentioned earlier, and it just made me so angry and so upset that the book had built up very many things, only to smash them with the iron heel of mediocrity. So angry. That said, I probably will read the next book. I might even finish the series because, like I said, while these books were so flawed, and had things that made me very angry. They are also incredibly readable and entertaining, and sometimes I just want to be entertained. Like if I'm at work, doing my thing, listening to my book, sometimes I just want to forget about the work that I'm doing and be entertained, and this book did that. So I guess I would say, like, if you are interested in reading this book, be prepared for it to be a lot more cliche than you are perhaps expecting, especially at the beginning, but also be prepared that it's probably going to keep you entertained. So those are my thoughts on Illuminae. Have you read it? What did you think about it? Comment below and let me know. As you guys know, I post videos here Mondays and Fridays, and I've been doing this for a really long time, so if you're interested in book reviews, I have a shit ton. Go wander around my channel, make yourself to home, see what I've got. And if you liked what you saw here but wish it was higher quality, then you can support me on Patreon. All of the donations on Patreon are going towards getting me the better equipment that I pretty much obviously need, because my camera's like 10 years old and you can tell. Anyway, I will see all of you again next time with whatever it is I happen to be doing next time. Bye!
Hey everybody, it is shout out time. Time for me to shout out to my amazing patrons, Kim, Sarah, and Savvy Panda. So if you want to be cool like these great people, then become my patron over on Patreon.